The story is inspired by true events. And in regards to this statement, we must take the movie's word. It's set circa 50 BC on and around the legendary Silk Road, a multi-path route that extended from Europe into the Middle East and the eastern coast of Africa to India, China, and Southeast Asia. Chan or Jackie Chan plays Huan, the captain of the Silk Road Protection Squad, which attempts to maintain the peace between the disparate 36 nations that employ the route for trade and travel. Who is a pacifist who believes that unity between the tribes, nations, and races that use the Silk Road is possible. He and his comrades seems to be alone in that belief. Who is a defensive fighter, only responding to an attack and almost always ensuring that his response is proportionally less than the initial attack. If whose enemy come at him with fists, he simply block them until a chance to knock them down arises. If they come to who with swords, he disarms them but uses the dull end of the blade to defeat his foes. It's a merging of philosophy and fighting that serves a character well in the early part of the movie, which abandons the philosophy and makes the fighting far more brutal and story's climax. The convoluted plot sees the protection squad framed for a robbery on the Silk Road. Who and his men are sentenced to hard labor at Wild Geese Gate, where prisoners from across China are rebuilding that great city that once stood there. Roman General Lucius arrived with his troops, who have exiled themselves to protect Publius, the young son of a Roman consul, from his treacherous elder brother Tiberius, who has murdered his way into his father's position, who leads the prisoner and the Roman guests to rebuild the city under the unified flags for their various nations. In exchange for the Romans' aid, who agrees to help Lucius find the Parthian Empire, which can restore Publius to his rightful place. They are alliance and betrayals plenty, but the writer or the director seems more concerned with establishing and maintaining an epic look and feel that in providing cohesion to the narrative, his screenplay relies far too often on flashback to fill in plot and emotional gaps. Much is made of whose optimistic personality and way of thinking make friends of few. He says and sings. He lectures Lucius on the futility of revenge, but the movie's third act cynically piles defeat and death upon Wu until he has no option but to go against his code in the face of Tiberius' evil way. Oddly, poisoning the character as a potential martyr for belief he must put aside. The fight scenes, which had been playful or focused on whose defensive techniques, become frantic, massive battles punctuated by lots of oozing and spraying blood. Dragonblade doesn't earn this shift, and it comes after too many proclamations of desiring peace for it to come across as anything other than the result of narrative necessity of convenience. By the movie's end, the casting of Cusack and Brody as Chan's combative equal seems one of its lesser oddities.